Okay, so here's a clip from my first video that I posted to YouTube on the artificial intelligence in the video game Carmageddon. Now, a moment ago you saw me wasting Vlad off in the distance. Here comes the next NPC car. Here waiting, parked behind the tree there. Kind of just seems like it's waiting there for me to come right along the same route here, so that there he is. He's positioned right next to me, right behind me, just exactly as I finish wasting Vlad, and as I come down the road to continue on to the next part of the game, and the NPC car is just waiting there for me. Now, when I posted a link to this clip on the Carmageddon forum, the regulars were a little skeptical. Alright, they weren't skeptical, they said I was full of it. They said there's no way the NPC car can know what you're going to do. There's no way it can predict that you're about to waste the previous car before you do it. And I was reading all kinds of things. It was all in my imagination. I was reading all kinds of things into it that wasn't actually there. And this next clip didn't do anything to change their mind about it. Okay, in this clip, I'm wasting the buggy here. You can see me waste him, buggy. Sure enough, along comes the next NPC car, right down the ramp, just right exactly after I finish wasting the buggy. Let's see that again. I waste the buggy. Here comes the next NPC car, right on cue. Now, in order for this to happen, the car didn't teleport there. The cars follow a regular path around the game, around the map of the game, and they don't teleport from one place to another. So in order for the next NPC car to arrive at the spot at the spot where you're wasting the previous car at exactly the right moment, it has to start coming in advance. It has to basically predict what the player is going to do in advance. Otherwise, there's no way that it will arrive right on time exactly as you're finished wasting the previous car if it doesn't predict in advance that you're about to do it. So that's exactly what it does. That's my contention in the first video, that the AI, the artificial intelligence in the game, is very good at predicting the player's actions and predicting what the player is going to do. And in order to position the next NPC car right there where you're going to, right after you waste the previous car, it has to predict that in advance so it can get that car into position. Now in this particular case, the NPC car coming down the ramp, it was pacing back and forth on the highway. It had gotten into the right place quite a bit ahead of time before I wasted the buggy, and it was pacing back and forth while I was duking it out with the buggy there, so that it could come down at the ramp at exactly the right moment. So unfortunately, my recording feature in the game wasn't working properly at first, so I couldn't get any more examples in order to prove my point. Fortunately, I've gotten the recording feature to work again, and so I've collected some really great examples of exactly what I'm talking about, of some very impressive, mind-boggling, mind-blowing artificial intelligence in the game called Carmageddon that is just going to blow your mind. If you're at all interested in artificial intelligence or even a little skeptical about it, this is really going to blow your mind. Now, I think one of the things that makes this predictive ability in the game so mind-blowing is that it implies a form of intuition that we normally associate only with people. And the thought that a computer program or a computer game can actually have something that we consider to be intuition is kind of hard for a lot of people to believe. But this is not a term that I made up. This is not a concept that I invented. In fact, the term or the concept of artificial intuition has been around for a long time. In fact, there's even a Wikipedia entry on it. So this is not my invention. This is not my own concept at all. Okay, so let's look at a few examples of artificial intuition in the game called Carmageddon. Now here you can see me tangling with Vlad. I'm driving toward the end of the road so I can spin around and I can get a nice running start, and I can come in and build up some momentum and get a nice hit here. So I get a nice hit there. I drive in the other direction to the other side here so I get some more momentum. I hit him nicely. Oh, I push him right up against the barrier. And in case you didn't notice it, As soon as I waste Vlad here, as soon as I finish off Vlad, look what happens. Buzz, lightweight, happens to come by at exactly that moment that I waste Vlad. Now, this is the thing that a lot of people thought was coincidence when I first started showing this. But look at this. This is perfect timing. Now, I'm going to show you that this is not coincidence at all. None of these examples are coincidence. This is a Buzz driving right by exactly as I waste Vlad. So let's see how this happens. This is from Buzz's point of view. You see he's driving away from the camera at first, then he comes. This is what I like to call the shadow AI or the ghost AI. This is what happens to the car, what the car looks like when it's a certain distance away from the player. So now he's coming along. Here he's coming down through this tunnel here. He's coming out the end of the tunnel, flying through just as I'm wasting Vlad. You can see me waste Vlad on the left side of the screen there. So let's see that again. He's coming through the tunnel. He sails out of the end of the tunnel, and there he sails by exactly as I'm wasting Vlad. So let's see this again now in a split screen view. I'm actually driving away from Vlad at this point to get some momentum going, but look what's happening to the AI. He's actually coming towards me, even though I'm going away from Vlad. So you might think that I've lost interest in Vlad. I was driving away from Vlad, but he's still coming, and now here I'm coming, finishing off wasting Vlad, and Buzz drives right by. So even though I was driving away from Vlad, he still comes, and of course he's itching for a fight. So as soon as I come after him, he turns around. So let's see that again in split screen view here. So here I'm driving away seemingly, but here comes Buzz, because the AI understands the reason why I'm driving away. I'm just driving away to build up a little momentum. So Buzz continues coming. I'm driving away again, and yet Buzz keeps coming. And I spin around, and finally I get Vlad here. I push him against the barrier, and there comes Buzz at exactly the right moment. So this is an example of artificial intuition, of the AI predicting my behavior, knowing what my intentions were going to be based on my previous actions and previous behavior. Okay, now sometimes the opponent vehicles play hard to get, and other times they become virtual sitting ducks. Now here's an example where I hit Razorback and he flips over. So this is a great position to be in. So I go to the other side of the street, so I get a nice running start, and I'm taking off, and here I get a nice hit in here for him here. So let me back up again, and you can see, look what happened. Purple pile driver. Did you see that? Purple pile driver just drove by. Why did he drive by at that exact moment? Because here I am. I'm wasting Razorback right here. Now I saw purple pile driver come by, so I go in that direction, and what do you know? There he is, turned upside down himself. Another sitting duck. So let's speed this up a little bit. I come in, I take a few blows, and I waste pile driver. So consulting my mini map, I know that the next opponent, coup de grace, is here just around the corner. So he's parked up against a nice wall too. He's another sitting duck. He's turned upside down. So I can get a couple of nice licks in here, and I waste coup de grace. So I've had three sitting ducks in a row. So let's see how that happened. Here comes coup de grace. He goes up the ramp at a bad angle. Whoa, he flips over. It looked like it was almost going to turn right side up again, but no, he flips over. And that was happening remember that was happening just as I was wasting purple pile driver. So let's see what happens to pile driver. Whoa, he hits the barrier there, and he flips over. Remember, this was happening just exactly as I was about to waste Razorback. So it happened really nicely there. So let me back up here a little bit now. Let's back up the whole thing and see what happened exactly as purple pile driver hit the barrier and flipped over. Boom! It was exactly as I was about to waste Razorback. Okay, so now let's see another awesome example that also involves Razorback. Here I am tangling with Razorback. I waste him. Now I don't know if you noticed that or not, but just as I was wasting Razorback, what happens? But Vlad happens to sail right by at the exact moment that I'm wasting Razorback. So let's see that here from a different angle so you can see it a little bit better. So there's Razorback. Here I'm coming. You can see me off in the distance, and boom! Exactly as I waste Razorback, there comes Vlad sailing right past. So let's see how that happened now. So this is about 30 seconds ahead of the previous clip, and you can see me off in the distance there, taking off. And what's Vlad doing? Well, he just seems to be doing nothing. He's doing something. He seems like he's doing something stupid. He's just circling around mindlessly, or is he? Whoa! At this exact moment, he suddenly becomes very purposeful. He takes off. He sails past in this direction, and of course, that is the exact moment that I was wasting Razorback. So let's see that in a split screen view. There I am. I'm getting a little distance there so I can get some momentum built up. You see Vlad is circling around, then all of a sudden he starts coming at the exact moment I start coming to waste Razorback, and there he goes. He sails by at exactly the right moment. There we go again. Amazing. Let's see that a couple more times here. Boom. There he goes, sailing right by. Boom. He sails right by. Okay, now here's another cool clip. Here I am chasing Buzz. I hit Buzz really good here. And now I'm chasing him along his position right so I can hit him right against the edge of this ledge. But whoops, I fall into the water too. Now at this point I'm wondering, should I recover or not? I decide to recover here because it's hard to waste someone under the water. Here I am being recovered, and boom, Jetcar manages to wedge himself right underneath me as I'm recovering. Now here he goes, he's pushing me along the road. I can't do anything. He's having fun here. Finally I fall off here when we hit the wall. Let's see that now from his perspective. He's going along the highway. If you look off in the distance in a moment, you'll be able to see me wasting Razorback. So here he goes, he's pausing for a moment so he can just get the timing right. And there I am, I waste Razorback, but unfortunately I fall into the water. So what does Jetcar do? He turns around and goes down this side street here, right underneath my skid marks there, because apparently he knows that that's where I'm going to be recovered. And he pushes me along the road here really nicely until we get to the end here and I fall off. Okay, now let's see that in a split screen view. Here I hit Buzz. Jetcar is coming along. He's pausing for a moment until the timing is right. I waste Buzz perfectly, and then Jetcar comes along. He turns here as if he knows that I'm about to be recovered, and he positions himself right underneath where my car is going to be when I actually get recovered here, and so he can push me along to the end of the road here. Now I've had a feeling from playing the game in the past, I've had the feeling that the AI actually obviously it knows where you're going to be recovered because that's controlled by the game itself. But I've had the feeling that it has a good idea of whether you're going to choose to recover or not based on your behavior. For example, when I was in the water, I didn't do anything, so it surmised that I was probably going to recover. So let's look at the next clip here. This is Razorback here. Now this is while I'm being pushed by Jetcar. This is right after the previous clip here, where he comes along. He's kind of stalling. He's kind of loitering around here. Why is he doing that? Because he's waiting to see what I'm going to do. He's waiting to see whether am I going to come and attack him, or am I still interested in hitting Jetcar. Obviously I'm ignoring him. I'm concentrating on Jetcar. So what does he do? He drives off. But before he drives off, this bit I really like here. Before he drives off, it's like he takes one last look to see what I'm doing, and it's like he's saying, "Oh, should I mess around with this guy anymore? Nah, I'm leaving." And he drives off into the sunset. Now this here is a really good clip. This is a scary good clip. Here you can see I got coup de grace turned upside down, and I decide to waste it in a rather unusual manner. I push it under the ramp. It gets smashed there. And I come along, and what do you know? Just as I come through, there's Jetcar waiting for me. Now let's see this from Jetcar's point of view here, about 30 seconds earlier, while I'm still tangling with coup de grace. Now that brown area up at the top of the screen, you see, in case you're wondering there, the camera angle is positioned underneath the ramp, so that's the underside of the ramp you see there. But here we see Jetcar just seemingly mindlessly going back and forth, bumping into the wall. But it's not mindless at all. What it's really doing is pacing itself. It's timing. It's carefully watching what I'm doing. Now all of a sudden you notice it's turning around and it's coming slowly, very deliberately along here, just exactly after as I finish wasting coup de grace, and I come in exactly to come in for a good hit. Now let's see this again. Here in the split screen view, here you can see I'm pushing coup de grace under the ramp. Boom, coup de grace gets wasted. I come through, and there's Jet Car waiting for me exactly at the moment I come through. Now this is a particularly interesting. This is a particularly interesting clip because I waste coup de grace in a very unusual fashion here. As you can see, the way I waste it is I push it under the ramp, and so basically it gets crushed. As you can see, I'm pushing it very slowly under the ramp, and it actually gets crushed under the ramp. Very unusual. Now this is an extremely important point, so let's see this again in split screen view. Here I'm pushing coup de grace under the ramp, just pushing it again. I didn't get it the first time, pushing again, it wastes, and here I come through and hit Jet Car. Now the important thing about this to point out is that this is not an obvious way of wasting a car. This is a very unusual way of wasting a car. If I was coming along at, say, barreling along at 150 miles an hour, then it would be obvious, that I'm planning on wasting coup de grace. But this was not a case like that. This was a case where I was just pushing it slowly, and I was just pushing it on the ramp, and basically what was happening was that it was getting crushed underneath the ramp. And yet, the AI obviously understood what I was doing because it was positioning, Jet Car was timing itself so it would appear at exactly the right moment, exactly as coup de grace got wasted, even though coup de grace was being wasted in a very unusual fashion. So let's think of what this means and why the AI in this game is so awesome. What this means is, first of all, that the AI understood my intentions. It understood exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to waste coup de grace in a rather unusual fashion by pushing it on the ramp. Secondly, it understood my strategy. It understood exactly how I was going to do it by pushing it on the ramp. Third, it understood the timing of it. It knew exactly when the wastage was going to happen. That is mind-boggling. So let's see this again. This is so cool. Here I am pushing coup de grace under the ramp. I need to push it a little bit more because I didn't get it far enough the first time. Boom! It wastes, and here comes Jet Car at exactly the right moment. Okay, let's move on to the next clip here. This is pretty cool. Now, here I'm going to the end of the road. I think I saw something there a little further back. Oh, there's Diana. They're turned upside down right by the ramp there. So I'm kind of thinking of how am I going to attack this problem. Well, I think I'll go to the end of the road here. I'll swivel around. I'll get some nice momentum up because she's right up against the wall. Boom! Now, look at there. Right after I finish Diana, look who's there. There's Buzz, like it's just waiting for me. And here it goes. I chase after it. Now let's see this from Buzz's point of view. You can see Buzz going down the street a little distance away. He turns the corner and he goes off the edge there, and he hits the ramp right in view of where I'm going to be wasting Diana. Now you can see me coming along to waste Diana. I waste Diana. As soon as I waste Diana, what does Buzz do? He stops bumping into the ramp. He turns around, almost like he's trying to taunt me, as if he's trying to tempt me into following and chasing after him, which I of course do. I love this bit. This is amazing. Let's see this again in a split screen view. So here I'm going to the end of the road to get a little momentum here. Here comes Buzz. He's coming down at the same time on another part of the map. He turns here just as I'm coming in. Boom! No, actually, I'm turning around to get a little momentum here. This is where I'm getting a little momentum. So he's waiting there for me. There, boom! I waste Diana. The moment I waste Diana, he turns around and he starts to leave, almost as if he was waiting. He was making sure. What he was doing is making sure that I saw him. And when he was sure I wasted Diana, then he turns around like he's saying, "Aha! You can't catch me. Come on, try to get me here. You can't catch me." I love this bit. You can see him just waiting until exactly when I waste Diana, and then he leaves. Now here's a clip from my previous video. This is so cool. It's still one of my favorites. I come down the road. You can see that Razorback comes down the side street. I waste Razorback, but what you may have not have noticed on the first viewing is exactly as I'm wasting Razorback, what happens? Here comes Thunderbucket driving right by exactly as I'm wasting Razorback with perfect timing as usual. Now, this is not a coincidence. This is what, if you just saw this video, this one clip, you might have thought this was a coincidence. But I think I've shown enough clips that it's pretty obvious that it's not. But just to hammer it in, let's look at it from Thunderbucket's point of view. You can see he's driving by just at the exact moment that I'm wasting Razorback. Now, how did that happen? Well, here we see about 30 seconds earlier, here we see Thunderbucket driving around in the park in a different part of the city. And he's driving around seemingly aimlessly, not doing anything. And you can even see Razorback drive by if you look closely. He suddenly stops wandering aimlessly. All of a sudden he turns into the ghost AI, and whoa, he cuts across the park, even cuts across the water. What's this big hurry? And then he makes a turn. Well, what his hurry is he wants to be there right exactly at the exact moment that I waste Razorback. And as you can see, he started off in that direction a considerable time before I actually wasted Razorback. So obviously the AI was able to predict what the player was going to do. The AI predicted that I was heading off on the way and I was going to race Razorback. So the question is, how did Thunderbucket know that, first of all, that I intended to waste Razorback, and how did it know the exact moment that I was going to waste Razorback? Well, let's see. Let's go back to Thunderbucket about 30 seconds earlier and see at that point, that exact point where he suddenly stopped wandering around, suddenly turned into the ghost AI, and started coming towards me. Let's see what I was doing and see if that gives me a clue. Whoa, look what happened. The exact moment that Thunderbucket stopped meandering around the park and started coming towards the area where I was going to waste Razorback was right here, exactly this moment where I realized where Razorback was, and I suddenly hit the brakes. I kind of go into a skid so I can change direction. That was the exact moment that I realized where Razorback was. So here you see me going down the side road here, turning the corner, heading towards where Razorback is. Boom, I hit Razorback, and at that exact moment, here comes Thunderbucket, coming through right on cue and coming past right as I'm wasting Razorback. So there you have it. In this video, I've given several examples of artificial intelligence in video games. I hope you liked it, and if so, I hope you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment. And be sure to check out my forthcoming videos where I give even more examples of artificial intelligence in Carmageddon. See you then.